lecture, we are going to briefly introduce the challenges designers face when designing for the uncertain future that awaits us. In the 90s, as presented by Alan Dix in the seminal book Human-Computer Interaction, the systematic integration of human-centered concepts into design extended these ideas from human-machine interaction, ergonomics, and collaborative work to service design, interaction design, and design innovation. It ensured that a participatory approach to project development became an integral part of the methodology of most of the fields of design. This approach profoundly transformed the design processes and embedded the discipline deeply into debates about democracy, policy, public services, and innovation. But underlying this progressive form of design was an idea of stability and growth, which takes its origin from classical economic theories such as Adam Smith's Wealth of the Nations. In Smith's view, a country's future income depends upon capital accumulation, and the more that is invested in better productive processes, the more wealth will be created in the future. We could count on the continuous lowering of the price of technology and the resources necessary to build them. We came to expect the rapid availability of most natural resources, the global flows of production and distribution, and the access to worldwide knowledge and expertise. We could rely on a certain continuity of experience from decade to decade. We assumed climate stability, the human capacity of reducing the risk of disasters, the stability of institutions, and we simply expected a continuous improvement of services. Social progress could confidently depend on growing education and increasing empowerment of people in a world that could absorb more discerning users. Very much inspired by Amartya Sen's work on development as freedom and capability theory, designers strive to empower people, allowing them to realize their intentions and potentials. The major concern was to ensure that inclusion, freedom, access, and equality were addressed in projects, and to do so, specific participatory tools and methods were developed and deployed. We are now facing something completely different, utterly and completely different. A level of uncertainty that, as Bruno Latour in his book Down to Earth says, is so fundamental that we don't know where to land. Uncertainty about our physical future, uncertainty about our social, economical, and democratic future. This constitutes a truly radical revisitation of the role of designer. The transformation towards profound uncertainty can take multiple forms, from possible degrowth to a redefinition of our relationship with nature and with material resources. From a social and cognitive point of view, this transition is radical and offers little support from known frameworks of behavior, of social and institutional relations. This widens the challenges for design disciplines that are expected to contribute in driving the transitions to a more desirable state by creating the enabling conditions for the integration of innovative solutions in production, infrastructure, governance, and practice. Latour again said that for the first time in history, we need to rapidly overhaul our material world, the very objects that surround us and that make the fabric of our daily life, our houses, our clothes, our food, our means of transportation. While in the past, social transformations potentially changed the ownership or access to buildings, to land, machines, expanding or reducing social inequality. And now it is the artifactual world itself that needs to be completely substituted or transformed. The challenge is made more complex by the fact that these material objects, which allow us to get by every day, do not stand alone and are inserted in a web of relations to be manufactured and to be used. In this respect, a very important role is played by household objects and belongings. The stunning photos by Menzel in his book Material World Across the World illustrate the role of family belongings in daily life. Cars, for instance, as described by Dennis and Ari in their book After the Car, not only are made from a long line of components, materials, and sources, but have also determined the network of roads, the layout of cities, the shape of our buildings, and therefore have created new objects and material elements in the world we inhabit. What can we do as designers in this new context? And how can we start designing for such uncertainty and such a huge transformation? There are three main avenues being explored. The first is to take a systematic approach to any problem. The second is to extend even further the range of disciplines with whom to collaborate in any project, including, for instance, biologists, political scientists, legal experts, or botanists. The third aspect is to take a collective intelligence approach, as described by Jeff Malden in his book, Big Mind, that can leverage both the collective human capabilities and experiences, but also the increasingly powerful forms of artificial intelligence and data processing tools. The systemic approach has been growing within design for quite some time. Books such as Chakra's How Infrastructures Work push designers to take into account the systems that shape practices. In a multiple competency approach, designers have always worked with multiple partners and stakeholders. The complex context we are facing requires us to integrate the expertise of even more disciplines. If we are to master how to use decentralized sources of energy, like local wind or solar farms, or think of artifacts for a reduced use of water, or food systems from different agricultural processes, we need the help of agronomists and biotechnologists, like in the past we relied on engineers. This opens some new subfields for design that will come to collaborate with bioengineers or environmental scientists, such as those described by Carlo Vizzoli in his book Design for Environmental Sustainability. Vizzoli proposes innovative methodologies for minimizing the consumption of resources in production, for disassembling products, for extending the lifespan of materials and designing for eco-efficiency. The collective intelligence approach could leverage on the long-standing tradition of participatory design to support the new processes of resilience building. All the discussions on resilience underline the importance of collective action and collective solutions. Not only do social organizations have networks of people with different skills, they also have processes that are defined over time, tools, data sets, procedures, and roads often decades in the making, and which embed and stabilize knowledge that can then be individually mobilized. Individual intelligence and adaptability have always relied on collective and diachronic collaboration. What is new is the potential collaboration with artificial intelligence to support decision-making processes, data analysis, such as what the organization Nest is doing in the UK. Nesta's Centre for Collective Intelligence Design designs tools and projects that allow communities to respond collectively to challenges and that help institutions strengthen trust and collaboration with citizens. Nest is working on participatory AI processes for crisis management, extending some of the principles of participatory design to the realm of AI system design.